Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Yesterday, the son of LeBron James, Bronny James, had a cardiac arrest while practicing basketball at the University of Southern California. He was then hospitalized for immediate medical attention. Since then, he has been released from the ICU and is now in stable condition. In other hoops news, the highest deal in NBA League history was signed with Boston Celtics superstar Jaylen Brown. The deal consists of a 5-year extension with the Celtics with a trade kicker, paying him with an average of just north of $60 million per year, totaling to a $303 million supermax. To add to the football coaching controversies in the Big Ten, earlier today, sources announced that Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of Michigan football, is being investigated for a Level 1 recruiting violation, the most serious violation in the NCAA. With the possible violation, he would receive a 4-game suspension, all of which are home games, with his first game back on September 30th at Nebraska. Harbaugh and the NCAA are attempting to negotiate for a resolution to the situation. And finally, taking a look at live MLB scores, we have Los Angeles Angels at Detroit Tigers in the bottom of the first, 2-0 Angels. Next, we have Baltimore Orioles at Philadelphia Phillies in the top of the second, 0-0. And finally, Miami Marlins at Tampa Bay Rays in the top of the second, also 0-0. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Huskers student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Huskers. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome in to a Tuesday night edition of Sports Nightly. We're glad you have joined us here. Give it up for David. I think you guys have all met now all of our new student interns that will be joining us here this fall. So you'll be hearing those guys here calling some tickers out and also some scoreboard updates throughout our programming. So we're happy to have those guys on. They've already done a great job. So David with the ticker tonight. And just if you're wondering if you're watching on the YouTube stream, he said Target is where he got his hat. We had a couple comments on his hat on our YouTube stream. So I'm Jessica Coody, flying solo for the next 3 days, but Greg will be in and out. He is headed to Indianapolis to cover Big Ten Media Days. He will check in here in hour number 2. We'll give a preview of what we're looking forward to, the big storylines. Heading into Big Ten Media Days coming up over the next 3 days. And then we'll also hear from the head basketball coach, Fred Hoiberg, as his team gets set to head to Spain coming up on Friday. So lots of news coming out with Husker men's basketball, some new additions to the roster, and then some honors academically. Yeah, lots of things to cover with Coach Hoiberg, so we'll get to all of that here in hour number 2 along with Greg. And then here in just a few minutes in hour number 1, we're going to continue our position previews and talk a little defensive line with Terrance Knighton. Looking forward to that conversation. I think that's going to be a big key. That group is going to be one to watch for in how this team does this season. So looking forward to hearing from Terrance Knighton here coming up here in just a few minutes. But Big Ten Media Days, again, Greg will be there bringing us lots of coverage here throughout the next couple of days. Coming up tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Central Time, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, we'll hear from him and his press conference with the media. And also coming up tomorrow, Illinois, Rutgers, Michigan State, Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, and Northwestern. Originally, when the schedule came out, it said David Braun, who's the interim head coach, his scheduled press conference is at 10:45. And originally it had said, even up until today, this afternoon, that we would hear from Northwestern players. And, Greg and I had talked about that, man, gosh, would not want to be a player going to this thing and being grilled on all the things that have happened leading up to this event and the season and the firing of Pat Fitzgerald. And, they're just going to get those questions over and over again and asking about, well, is it true? Did you experience this? And the way that media days work is, they'll have a players press conference, but then you have Radio Row, and then you'll have press, regular breakout sessions. And so there's a lot of different kinds of stations of media. And as you go through the rotation, and a lot of times these guys always talk about, we get asked the same questions over and over and over again with each station rotation. So they were just going to go there, the Northwestern players, and just get asked over and over again. And as much as you can prepare for what needs to be said and how to handle it, it's still not an ideal situation. So we were really surprised when we saw those Northwestern players on the schedule. And then not too long ago, in fact, it was at 3 o'clock, statement came out on the Northwestern football Twitter and social media accounts from the Northwestern players that were supposed to represent Northwestern there at Big Ten Media Days. With this statement, after talking with our parents, our teammates, and Coach Braun, we have made the decision to not attend Big Ten Media Day. This was very difficult since we were excited about the opportunity to participate in this great Big Ten event, our great Big Ten tradition, and to talk about the game we love and the season ahead. But given the recent events involving the Northwestern football program, we did not want our participation to be dominated by the hazing issue and steal the focus away from football and the upcoming season. We are proud members of the NU football program and want our on-field performance and off-field conduct to always reflect the values of the university and our fans. Go Cats. Signed Bryce Gallagher, Rod Hurd, and Bryce Kurtz. So understandably, that's the decision that they came to decide. And I would not want to be a player put in that situation and having to answer a lot of those questions. And again, we're surprised in the first place that they were even going to be there. So let David Braun handle that. And it's going to be a lot of questions for I would imagine a lot of coaches, and Tony Petitti and how he's going to handle all of this. And it's just, kind of a dark cloud. So certainly understand the Northwestern players' decision to not attend. So again, that will be tomorrow starting at 9:30 a.m. and coverage will be all across the Big Ten Network. Then on Thursday, that's Nebraska's day. Matt Rule is scheduled for the podium 11 a.m. on Thursday. Other schools that will be there with Nebraska: Indiana, Maryland, Minnesota, Purdue, Wisconsin, and Michigan. A lot of the new head coaches that are joining the league will be making their first appearance at Big Ten Media Days on Thursday, along with Matt Rule. But also mention there Michigan, because another big news story of the day was the fact that Jim Harbaugh is looking at a suspension of 4 games out of the gate, so to start the season. This was reported earlier today, initially by Yahoo, and then now multiple sports outlets have confirmed this news, that the suspension and negotiations with the NCAA, they've not been finalized, but the expectation is that he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season. Those first 4 games: East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers. So the first game that he would be back, if this is indeed the suspension that he has handed down with, his first game back will be none other than Nebraska on September 30th. But the suspension comes from recruiting violations that I think was back in COVID. But the punishment is really coming with the NCAA level 1 violation because he was dishonest with the NCAA investigation. And so that's where the suspension became 4 games, because I think initially it wasn't going to be that much of a punishment. But he has a lawyer that he says that, we're continuing to work cooperatively with the NCAA staff on an enforcement matter. At this time, we cannot comment further on any aspect of the matter. So, but again, tomorrow is media day, so you got to imagine, or starting media days, and then with Michigan scheduled to go on Thursday, got to imagine he's going to get asked that question a lot. And it still could take several days, even weeks, to finalize that decision, because it's still got to go to the infractions committee before it's finalized on what exactly, if that is going to be accepted. So we will see, but it sounds like that's going to be the case, that Jim Harbaugh is going to miss the first 4 games of the season. And really the punishment coming because he wasn't honest when they started to conduct this investigation into those recruiting violations. So we will follow that and keep you up to date on that. So we have a lot to get to here in the show, including Terrance Knighton coming up next. I'm really excited. I mentioned this a few minutes ago, but I think the defensive line is going to be a huge key. Jeremiah Searles and I talk a lot on our podcast about O-line and D-line. And after he went to spring practice several times to get ready for the spring game, calling it on the Big Ten Network, that was a position that he had circled because Ty Robinson was hurt, did not go through spring football, and we saw a lot of those true freshmen, Cam Linhart, Princewell Uman-Manyelen, get a lot of opportunities, and they really grew throughout the spring because of that. But, that whole line, there's not as much depth probably as they would like to have going into the season. And so going to have some guys step up and really fill a void there, and going to have to maybe play a lot of minutes, a lot of snaps. We'll see. We'll see who kind of comes out and emerges, who he is excited about, and who emerges after fall camp, after spring football and then fall camp. Who are some guys to maybe look out for? But I think that's going to be a really, really big key now that the offensive line has some experience and some depth there and some guys coming back. We've heard Matt Rule say it, still would like to have some more depth in that room, which they're working towards. It doesn't happen overnight with the offensive line, but I know that they feel really good about especially those starting five that they have right there on the offensive line. So it's going to be a big key for that defensive line. And I know Searles is also really high on the Minnesota offensive line. So right out of the gate, a tough challenge for that defensive line to face the Minnesota offensive line. So we'll look forward to hearing from Terrance Knighton here coming up in just a few minutes. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, give us a text or call 402-413-2400, the number to call there on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Terrance Knighton up next here on Sports Nightly.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at astriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the great big small bank. Visit FNBO.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call John Henry's
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Purchasing your vehicle has never been easier with Woodhouse Hyundai. Right now, lease the 2023 Hyundai Elantra SCL for $305 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles a year. Plus, when you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at WoodhouseHyundaiofOmaha.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $19.99 down plus first payment and $2.99 doc fee to assign it. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Tonight we continue our position breakdowns, a look at the defensive line, and great to have defensive line coach Terrance Knighton with us here on the program tonight. Before I get into the guys' names, Coach, I just and I've asked a lot of the coaches this, what's your room like? What's the personality of the group that you have that you get to coach?
I think our personality, we're a fun group. We're a fun group. We enjoy what we do. The guys love each other. Our meeting room is our man cave, you know what I mean, where guys can come in, they can be themselves, they can speak, freely. No one takes anything personal. I coach them hard. But at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood just like any other room in the building. And I just love the fact that all the personalities are meshing, and, it's a product of Coach Rue being who he is, and it trickling down through the coaching staff, and then, my room being an imprint of myself. So I'm a guy who, we're in the meeting room, we're talking football, we're laid back. I don't want that to be a stressful environment. The stress is on the field. Off the field, I don't want them to stress. I want them to be able to understand the game, take the coach in, and, be in a stress-free environment. So, that I think that's why we'll be successful up front.
You mentioned you coach them hard. How did they take that?
I think because of the balance with, how we are with our guys personally, how in touch we are with their families, their personal life. And when a guy trusts you and a guy believes in you and knows you really care about them, they'll run through a wall for you. So, we do as much as we can off the field as we do on the field, so that on the field, it's not, hey, Coach Knighton's yelling at me. It's, hey, he's teaching, and, Coach and I, once played for, always said, you know, it's a teach-up, not a beat-up. So, you know, make sure the guys hear the message and not hear the volume at times.
Good. Let's go through some names, and let's start with guys Husker fans know pretty well. And the first one's Ty Robinson, who was very limited. I'm not sure he did anything for you in the spring because coming off of surgery. Update us on Ty.
Ty's doing great. You know, he's back in the mix of things. You know, he's summer workouts. He hasn't been held back. He's been working. He's doing a great job. You know, with leadership, learning how to lead the room, being the older guy now. He's played the most football in the room, so we're expecting big things out of him. And, you know, he's a guy who wants to be a pro, so I hold him to that standard. And obviously, you know, being able to prepare for games, prepare for practice, prepare for the day, and at the same time bringing the young guys with him. So I think he's doing a great job, and I'm excited to see him play. And, you know, for a big guy, he's a big man. How well he moves and his versatility, I'm looking forward to seeing how it fits in our scheme.
Well, that's good news. Nash Hutmaker's been in the program for a couple years. He got a lot of reps for you in the spring. What kind of development did you see from Nash?
He looks great. I saw him today working out. His body looks great. He's dropped some weight. Doesn't want to just be a two-gap guy. Wants to get out there on third down. So, you know, I remember those days when I was 325 pounds saying, Coach, let me get out there on third down. So, you know, he's working at it. Another guy who's doing a great job with his leadership, bringing guys with him. It's the reason why in the spring our young guys were able to develop so quickly because of guys like Nash who said, hey, watch how I prepare, this is how I'm going to do it. And it's just, you know, it's become contagious in the room with his work ethic and how he prepares, so I'm excited about him as well.
We've seen just a little bit of Blaze Gunnerson in his time at Nebraska. What have you seen from him, and what are your expectations for him?
The good thing about Blaze is he has a higher standard for himself than anybody else has, so you can see that, but at times I got to, you know, pull him back a little bit and, you know, take a deep breath. He's a guy who wants to go out there and do well all the time, and once he gets into, you know, his comfort zone as a leader and as a player, he's going to make a lot of plays for us. So right now, we love what he's doing leadership-wise. He practiced a little bit during the spring, so we've seen flashes of what he can do. So now it's just a matter of just getting him healthy, getting him comfortable with what he's doing, and, you know, letting the game come easy to him.
Ruquan Buckley has not really seen much time in the fall. You certainly had him in the spring. What about Ruquan?
Great leader. The guy who you only have to tell him to do something one time. His body is transformed. He's in great shape. The guys respect him in the room. The guys respect him on the team. And he's kind of like the enforcer of the D-line. So, you know, when Ty and Ash are getting after guys, they kind of got Rue as security. So, but he's doing a great job, and he's probably a guy that I love coaching the most in the room because he's just, whatever Coach Rue says, whatever Coach White says, whatever I say is Bible. So he's locked in, and he's doing a great job. And he's a guy who's definitely trying to make a push to, you know, show that he can impact the defense this year.
We're visiting again with Terrance Knighton here on Sports On It. We're breaking down the defensive line. I love what you and the staff did in the spring, moving some guys around. Maybe they didn't fit over here as well as they might fit here, and you did that with two players. A.J. Rollins, Brody Tagovailoa also made that conversion. What about those two? And I guess you're pretty excited about both of them.
Well, the good thing is they don't move like tight ends anymore. They move like D linemen, and just two young guys who you've seen their ability. Coach Rue has a system where, you know, he'll have guys try different positions and just throw them out there and see what they do. And immediately when you see a guy like AJ and Brody just have a knack for being around the ball, being physical, you know, you can coach the rest. So, and you can see that by the way we recruit. We recruit a lot of athletes, you know, a lot of guys who, you know, can play DB, can play receiver, who can play O-line, can play D-line. And, you know, we have a few guys like that. So, you know, whatever helps us on either side of the ball, that's what we're going to do. So, but those guys have been doing a great job. And, you know, like I said, we have a deep room now and a lot of young guys who can come in and play. So it'll be interesting to see how it all falls through.
Pretty much every position group went and got an addition or two from the portal. You were the same way. Elijah Judy is from the portal to the Husker program. What did you see from Elijah in the spring?
Elijah was a guy who has a lot of ability, did a great job, you know, getting comfortable, getting in a new scheme, you know, playing a little different position than what he's used to as far as alignment-wise. And just a guy who, you know, loved the family culture that we have here, you know, loves the attention to detail that we have in our coaching. And I'm just excited about him. He just had a new baby boy, a beautiful son, so I'm excited about that. And, now his anxiety's kind of gone now. His son is healthy and here, so now he can focus on football. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do a lot of things. He has a lot of ability, can affect the pass, affect the quarterback on third down, quick for a big guy. He's going to be a guy that makes a lot of plays because of how dynamic he is.
Fantastic. Back in the recruiting class, you did tap the junior college ranks. Kai Wallen is an addition to your room. What'd you make of his play in the spring?
I love the attitude that he has about his everyday work ethic. He comes out every day ready to practice. A guy that you don't have to push, who's self-motivated, is going to be in great shape. Is going to know, what he has to do on and off the field to be successful. A guy who's put on about 25, 30 pounds since we got him. So he'll be a different-looking guy in camp. And I'm excited about what he can do, seeing how physical he is when we get into camp and have those hard days. But just a guy who we see, can come in right away and help us and, develop into, a black shirt potentially.
All right, let's get to the young pups. These guys excite me, and I know they do you as well. Princewell was here in the spring. Sua was here in the spring. Cam Lenhart was here in the spring. How about the development of those three, and can we expect to see them in the fall?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect. I just want them to be ready to go practice one. But those young guys, man, with Cam and Princewell, coming in, in the winter and being able to do mat drills and do all those things and going through spring ball obviously helped them. And, they'll have a little jump on the younger guys as far as the physicality of practice and what to expect. But all our young guys are doing a great job. And, that's, hats off to Kristen, what she does with nutrition, and Corey, what he does in the weight room, and Dennis, what they do with academics. It makes it a lot easier for us when they have that structure, on and off the field. So, those young guys have been able to focus on what they've been able to focus on. Gus and his staff has helped those guys with their time management and their schedule. So for young guys, that's the most important thing. The football usually handles itself, when all those things are in balance. And that's the hardest part, about being a young guy, is trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to be? How much time do I have to spend here? And our staff does a good job of helping those guys come in right away. And that's why Coach Ruth's programs have always been able to play young guys.
You got some that got here in June, and you won the battle to get them, because I know that we weren't sure if they were offense or defense. Right. Mason Goldman. I'm also looking at Jason Machechak. Yes. Okay.
Machechak,
from South Dakota.
Yes.
Young guy up there. Roddy Van Poppel is now here. I know he came to some practices in the spring. Vincent Carroll Jackson. I know you haven't been around them too much, but your initial impressions of those guys?
Well, first and foremost, it felt good to walk into a meeting room and every seat was taken. In the spring game, we're a little low on bodies, but like I said, those young guys, they came in with a great attitude. The older guys with Ty and Nash made sure they talked to those guys throughout the winter, throughout the spring, and said, hey, make sure you guys are doing these things to be ready. And, those guys have, hit the ground running and came in good shape. And like I said, having the young room, 2 or 3 of those guys are going to have to come in and be an impactful player for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing the maturation of all of them. And, Mason, obviously a guy who was on the O-line at first and, was going through drills, was going through agilities. And I said, me and Coach Rue looked at each other and said, okay, he's one of ours. So, but like I said, those guys have been doing a great job. They're getting stronger. They're in great shape. And, that's the leadership in our room. That's the, Princewell and Cam saying, hey, when I got here, this is what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So it's a really good balance right now, and I think our guys will be ready to go.
Terrance, I don't want to leave out the walk-ons because that's a huge backbone of this program. It has been for decades. And a guy like Jacob Herbig is a walk-on in your room, and we may look out there some Saturday and see him down there playing.
Absolutely. And one thing about Herbo is I know he's going to be exactly where he's supposed to be. He's going to play hard. He's going to do exactly what he's coached to do. And that's what you want from guys like that, right, who can come in and be dependable, can play all positions. And he's one of those guys that say, hey, Coach, I haven't been on the field. And, having a new staff, that helps guys like that. So for him to come in and show that he can be impactful and, know where to be and make plays and be physical, that's good for him. And, a young guy we just got, James Williams, those two, I told Herbo to take him under his wing and kind of show him the way. And he's another tall, long guy, athletic, kind of like Kai Wallen, and, a guy who we expect to grow. Leslie Black, another guy who's, put on 25 pounds in like a month. So, we got a lot of young guys who are starting to, understand the level of urgency that we have. And like I said, that's all hats off to Gus, Kristen, and Corey, and Coach Rue for how it's structured.
Got your bags packed for the dorms?
No, all I got is a toothbrush, so that's all I need. I'll be in the office.
And you were telling me that a lot of time you spent in the NFL, you were staying in hotels, not dorms.
Yeah, I got lucky with the head coaches I had in the NFL. We always stayed in the hotel, but I'm excited about the dorm. I understand how important it is, with the camaraderie and with the coaches being in there, the players kind of be like, okay, we're all in this together. I understand the mindset, and, at the end of the day, while our players are out there battling, who are we to say that we should be going home every night while they're in dorms and can't be around family and, pets or whatever they have, so we're all in this together. So that's one thing we make sure we always do is humble ourselves just as much as the players have to humble themselves every day.
Did the juices get going a little bit more this week?
Yes. Yesterday felt like the first day of camp for me, what I mean? So right now we're getting ready for Minnesota, we're getting ready for Colorado, we're doing those things as coaches, and I'm excited about the players getting back this week and seeing the guys, and I'm just ready for that first whistle.
Terrance, thanks for coming in and updating us. I can't wait. I think you're going to have a really competitive August. I can't wait to watch this unfold.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Terrance Knighton with us here on Sports Sunday. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Jessica's back with more of the show next.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hey, Husker fans, Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Knighton Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Knighton Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit KnightonCompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000. Cole, you signed up for that yet? Or have you got a scratch ticket for trucks and bucks?
I have not. I probably will get to it. I usually am a scratch ticket person about once a year around Christmas.
The grandma got ran over by a reindeer scratch ticket?
Yep.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's a popular favorite. I know that is. They always have special, fun, different scratch special tickets or whatever throughout the year. So, all right, there you go. Honk if you love bucks and trucks and bucks. Hey, I did want to get to this today because it was announced that some new legislation has been announced, some bipartisan legislation to address some of the NIL issues, and it was by Tommy Tuberville, Republican, and Joe Manchin, the Democrat, out of 2 senators, and Joe Manchin was out of West Virginia. We had Jonathan Bateman on a couple weeks ago, and I'd asked him, what are the chances of having federal law that govern and oversee all of the NIL happenings, because right now you're seeing different states pass different laws that kind of override what's already in place, and it's an arms race at this point to see who can pass the laws that allow you to do the most with NIL. And I know that there's, with Texas A&M, for example, they had implemented a program that rewarded donors for contributing to NIL funds, but that's against NCAA bylaws. And so I know that there's been a lot of people calling for some federal legislation that is in place that overrides the state legislation. And so that has been introduced today. And again, it's just been introduced. We'll see how long, if it even gets passed. I know that that's still even a big hill to climb to even get it passed, but it's the PASS Act of 2023. And it's been a year-long effort that they hope strikes a balance between protecting the rights of student athletes and still maintaining the NCAA, the amateurism and all of that, and protecting college athletics. Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, said it's important legislation, a major step in the right direction. But the bill essentially is going to make it illegal for states to pass individual laws that allow college athletes to receive a direct share of dollars of revenue. So there's been some legislation out in California that's been passed that I know has been on the radar of athletic departments across the country that is basically going to allow, or maybe start the process of allowing student athletes to receive some of that direct money that is brought into the universities. And so this legislation is going to put a stop to that. Nicole Arabak of The Athletic, I thought, broke it down really great. She has an article up right now that really kind of, you know, how legislation can be. It can be a little wordy, a little hard to understand, but she kind of just really dumbed it down for people like me, and has some big bullet points that her big takeaways. The bill would preempt state NIL laws and require a uniform NIL contract for all parties entering into a contract. It would also allow the NCAA to prohibit certain types of deals, such as those with gambling companies or alcohol brands. The NCAA would be in charge of enforcing and investigating such rules, but it would have the support of the Federal Trade Commission, which would handle the registration of agents and collectives, as well as the National Public NIL Deal Registry. Boosters and collectives and boosters would be required to formally affiliated with specific schools. The act would also guarantee health insurance for sports-related injuries for uninsured student athletes. And then here was the big one. Athletes would only be able to transfer and play right away after completing their first 3 years of academic eligibility. Exceptions to this would include a death in the player's family or a head coach or position coach leaving the school. So it's not only addressing NIL, but also that transfer portal that we've seen really go crazy. So again, just introduced today, and there's there's actually a couple of different bills that have been introduced, some legislation that have been introduced, and I think that again, it has to go through a long process to even get passed. We're not even close to being there, but I know they have had a hard time even getting to this point where they can agree on kind of legislation to even introduce. So we'll see how that goes and how far it can go and if it can get passed. But I think pretty much everybody is in agreement that there needs to be something to help govern where it's not different states that are having a leg up over other states that allow them to do more with their NIL or give more money to their student athletes to have an advantage in recruiting, but to make an overall blanket type of rules and legislation that is in place to keep it equal for everybody. My thought process immediately went to, well, this is to help the NCAA and continue to allow the NCAA to have governing to oversee all of that. But what happens when when college football starts being governed by itself? Because that's been another big rumor and something that we've talked about for years now, being that they're with the college football playoff. And when this expands, are they going to be their own entity? Then what? Is there going to be different legislation that has to be in place for that? But yeah, so interesting there. And Jonathan Bateman, when he was on, had told us that he constantly stays up with it and is constantly trying to read and oversee and stay up to date on everything that comes out. And it's constant. I mean, it is something I feel like new every single day, every single week that you got to stay on top of and follow. And also even just the different kinds of lawsuits like the one I was talking about in California, that depending on which direction that goes could also sway some of these decisions. But I find it fascinating. It's really hard to stay up to date with it, and it can get pretty confusing. And I know, Cole, it is your favorite topic that we talk about of all times here on the show.
It's good. I wonder, though, do you think this is the type of thing where it's a case of when this legislation gets sorted, it'll be solved? Or do you think it's going to be around for a while in that states will find loopholes and continue to abuse it? It's hard to say, but
yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, and I think the states probably it's fascinating. I think most athletic departments would like to see an overall like blanket legislation that will govern all of this, but they took too long to do it, and now the states have taken it into their own hands. But a state like Texas they don't want to change their laws that they just passed because all of their schools have some advantages right now. Arkansas, there's a handful of states that have some legislation that basically override the NCAA. And then that's when a few weeks ago we saw the memo come out from the NCAA that said, hey, you have to abide by the NCAA laws no matter what your state says. But state overrides the NCAA, so that's where it gets messy. So I got to imagine some schools like Texas A&M, some of those schools might put their heels in and say, hey, no, we don't want this to change. But overall, I would think it'd be best if there's, and also the other bill that's being introduced they want it to be transparent and show what each individual athlete is making per deal, and more transparency with the deals. And I don't know if I necessarily like that, because if you work, and Greg and I dove into this last week, I believe, about, if you work for a state institution, then that's public record, but how many other businesses show what everybody makes and all of that? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if that is something that I'd be for, but I don't know if it'll fix everything. I think it would help. It would definitely help and help manage. And we still haven't really seen much punishment come down right now. And so I don't even know what kind of governance is being done and can be done right now with nothing federally in place, when it's just being, essentially governed by the states. So I think something probably needs to be done, but then you still have to have somebody that's checking the schools and making sure that they're following all these rules that are in place. It's a long ways away, let's just face it, but at least it's in the works of getting passed, and we will continue to follow it and bring you the latest as we get it. All right, going to get to our final break here of hour number one. Right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLSteelDealers.com. We're back to wrap up hour number one. Up next.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Len and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Take your adventures to new heights when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Lincoln. Explore our current lineup to find a luxury SUV that exceeds your expectations. Receive 1.9% APR for 36 months on all 2023 Lincoln models. The Lincoln Aviator, Lincoln Corsair, Lincoln Nautilus, and Lincoln Navigator provide a sense of elevated peace to every moment of your drive. Experience the power of Sanctuary in-store or online at woodhouselincoln.com. With approved credit, expires 7/3/23. See dealer for details.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. So just about an hour ago, the Nebraska men's basketball posted a hilarious video on their Twitter account, and they just, I'm assuming they just put a sign up right outside of the gym, and it said, who on the team is losing to Coach one-on-one, losing to Coach Hoiberg one-on-one. And so the guys all stopped by, read the sign, and then guessed who they thought, or said who they thought would lose to Coach Hoiberg. Cole, who would you think that the most people said?
What was, sorry.
They asked the players who on the team would lose to Coach Hoiberg in one-on-one. And there was an overwhelming, consensus of who they said would lose.
I have no idea.
Blaze.
Oh, okay.
Blaze Keita. So, and it's hilarious. It's really funny. All the guys coming in, and at the end, though, Adam Howard, assistant coach, walks up and says, "Everybody is losing to Coach Hoiberg because Coach has got game." That would be great to see. I know we get a lot of questions too, and even just a friendly game of horse. Sam Hoiberg stopped by and said I would beat his tail. So it's pretty funny. I check it out. The only problem with this is it came out before. So we talked to Coach Hoiberg earlier in the day. You'll hear from him coming up here in hour number 2. And I didn't know this was coming out, or would have asked him about it. I would have loved to hear his thoughts on who he would. He actually quote tweeted it after a lot of the guys said Blaze, and said, Blaze and I will spot any of you chumps 5 points. That would also be fun to see a little 2-on-2 matchup between Coach and Blaze and anybody else. But yeah, I was disappointed that I wasn't able to ask him about that. So coming up, hour number 2, Greg Sharpe mentioned he's out for the next 3 days, and he will be bringing us some great content from Big Ten Media Days. He's got some folks already lined up. We're going to hear from Damon Benning coming up tomorrow night. But before he was going to head to the airport, he stopped by, so we're going to get a preview of Big Ten Media Days, what we're looking forward to, big storylines. And we didn't even know at the time that the Northwestern players weren't going to be there, but still, it's still going to be a big storyline that I think a lot of coaches and players are going to get asked about, and by media across the country that will be there. So we'll hear from Greg Sharpe and Fred Hoiberg here coming up in just a few minutes. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400, the number to text or call in. If you want to be a part, the Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Cole, you met my puppy last night.
I did. Sunny.
And my mom is sending me pictures of her. I'm telling you, I had her for a couple days, and now working for a couple days, she's a little bit of a handful.
I can imagine. Probably not near potty trained, right?
No. It's I'm glad I got her this week before we have fall camp next week, because it's going to be some work. But my mom is texting me throughout the show and giving me updates, minute by minute updates of what little Sunny is doing. But she's pretty cute. I'm excited to have her. If you have any, if you have any puppy suggestions, please send them on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline, our Sports Nightly Hotline. All right, hour number 2 up next. We're going to hear from Greg Sharpe and Fred Hoiberg. Keep it here, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Visit Woodhouse Mazda during the Season of Discovery sales event and explore the entire lineup of award-winning Mazda sedans and CUVs, like the Swift and Sporty Mazda CX-30. Get a $500 rebate on a Carbon Edition Mazda CX-30, or take advantage of 2.9% APR for 36 months or 4.9% for 60 months. This is Woodhouse Mazda. When financed with Mazda Financial with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Yesterday, the son of LeBron James, Bronny James, had a cardiac arrest while playing basketball at the University of Southern California. He was then hospitalized for immediate medical attention. Since then, he has been released from the ICU and is now in stable condition. In other hoops news, the highest deal in NBA League history was signed with Boston Celtics superstar Jaylen Brown. The deal consists of a 5-year extension with the Celtics with a trade kicker, paying him with an average of just north of $60 million per year, totaling to a $303 million supermax. To add to the football coaching controversies in the Big Ten, earlier today, sources announced that Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of Michigan football, is being investigated for a Level 1 recruiting violation, the most serious violation in the NCAA. With the possible violation, he would receive a 4-game suspension, all of which are home games, which is with his first game back on September 30th at Nebraska. Harbaugh and the NCAA are attempting to negotiate for a resolution to the situation. And finally, taking a look at live MLB scores, the Angels still lead the Tigers at 2-1 through 4. The Orioles are battling to keep the lead against the Phillies at 2-1 through 4. Rays are starting to get comfortable with their lead against the Marlins at 3-1 through 4. Mets are stomping forward against the Yankees at 4-0 through 2. And the Guardians are slightly ahead against the Royals at 1-0 through 4. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Huskers student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes a pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and Greg Sharpe going to be in and out the next 3 days because he is headed to Big Ten Media Days. It's talking season. Big fan of talking season?
I like talking season because it kind of gets the juices flowing that we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, we've been through the magazine era, which I buy the magazines, and I know people make fun of me. What one person say to me, Jessica, how old is this guy? He's buying magazines still. But now you get to actually see coaches, see players, hear from administrators. So this is, to me, a fun time. And I like the way the Big Ten does it. They kind of do it right up next to camp. So then when you get back from this, it's go.
I was just about to say that because other conferences might be at the beginning of the month and you still have to wait a few weeks. But with the Big Ten, it is you have Big Ten Media Days, and then because you know it's here.
Yeah.
Because the players report, they're here, and then you have Fan Day on Sunday. So
they're moving in Saturday to the dorms,
yeah.
I believe. Crazy.
So what are some of the big things you're looking forward to getting known over the next few days?
I'm anxious to hear from the commissioner.
Yeah.
Because this will be Tony Petitti's first time to really address all the media, and he starts it off tomorrow. Kind of a state of the union of the Big Ten. What's he going to say about NIL? What's he going to say about the TV partners coming on board with NBC and CBS? What's he going to say about expansion?
Mm-hmm.
Will he, I'm sure he'll reference UCLA and USC, and next year at this time, they'll be here at this event. Is that it? Or are they going to go more? Because the SEC a week ago, their commissioner said, no, we're staying pat. We're not moving. So what will Tony Petitti say tomorrow? And also, what's he going to say about Northwestern? I mean, he's got a mess on his hands with the hometown school there in Chicago. So I'm anxious to hear from Tony first. And then the news we got today, Jessica, about possible suspension for Jim Harbaugh. That is giant news if he misses 4 games. And by the way, game 5 for them is
Nebraska.
Here. Huskers will fly in tomorrow about this time. They then go on Thursday with Michigan. So Harbaugh, I'm sure, will be at the podium. And so there's always some interesting dynamics about this.
Yeah, and this kind of just slides in here today. I'd heard that there was maybe some investigation going on, but I didn't know that it was going to be coming to any kind of punishment for Jim Harbaugh. Because there's been a lot of programs that had issues throughout COVID that we've seen. And so you had no idea this was coming?
I didn't. Remember, was it last summer that Scott Frost, or maybe that was almost 2 years ago, Scott Frost was going to have to face a suspension and miss some time because Nebraska had analysts on the field or where they weren't supposed to be. So, yeah, that was 2 years ago. So now let's see what happens with Jim Harbaugh.
I've heard he's just denied or not remembered talking to the recruits. He doesn't remember it, so he's probably going to get that asked several times again and again. What do you think is going to be the big question that the Nebraska players and coaches get?
Well, it'll be so much about new coach, new things. New coaches are always under the spotlight at these things, and Nebraska is the only new head coach. Northwestern obviously has their deal, but Coach Worrell's the only brand new guy in the league. And so a lot of focus, it'll be the first time a lot of this media gets a chance to hear from him, and they're going to be blown away. I think we talked about this last night on the program. I think he will be the star of the 2 days in Indianapolis. And then the questions for Jeff Sims and Ethan Piper and Luke Reimer is just going to be, what do you notice? Not so much for Jeff because he wasn't here last year, but what do you know? What are the differences between last year and this year, and how are you going to flip the script on all those losing games by a point or two? How are you going to turn those into wins?
Another big piece of news that came out today is Jim Leonard, who was the interim, the defensive coordinator at Wisconsin, is now has been brought on at Illinois. How about that
That's that Brett Bielema connection, because Brett was the head coach at Wisconsin, so he would have had some ties to Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard was really popular. A lot of the players on that Wisconsin team wanted him to get the full-time position there. He didn't. They go with Luke Fickell. So now you bring him in, and that's a big coup for Illinois because their defensive coordinator left. He's now the head coach at Purdue, and that's Ryan Walters. I guess there is a new head coach. Ryan Walters at Purdue is also new, along with Matt Rural. But so Bielema goes and gets a guy who's been game planning for all these teams in the Big Ten the last couple of years. What a nice get for Illinois football. Kudos to them. That's a nice steal late in the game.
Another thing that I took note of is just the transfer quarterbacks that are also going to be there at media days as well.
I think that's good, don't you?
Yeah, I do. If you know that, I don't know if Casey Thompson's still here, if Jeff Sims is that guy. I don't know. I don't know kind of what went into that decision, but if you know that it's going to be the starting quarterback and he get him in front of people now and let him be the voice and give him that kind of responsibility. And I think it's a big opportunity for those guys that are coming in.
Sure is. And nobody in the Big Ten has talked to Jeff Sims before because he was in the ACC with Georgia Tech. But you're right. Iowa with a new transfer quarterback, Wisconsin with a new transfer quarterback, Purdue with a new transfer quarterback, and then you put in Jeff. I think it's good for Jeff to get exposed to this. He's not new to college football. He's played 2 seasons with the Rambling Wreck and did really well. I think he'll do well. I know we haven't talked to him a ton. I hope to sit down with him on Thursday and talk to him just about his summer and about kind of working with the guys. I thought Marcus Satterfield was great last night talking about Jeff and how Jeff's been a great leader. And I think we heard that even from Casey before he left, that he was impressed with Jeff's leadership skills as a quarterback.
Yeah, I heard from Casey's brother who said he thinks Jeff's going to be a great leader for this program and loved him as a teammate, just had nothing but great things to say about Jeff Sims as a teammate. And so I think that really speaks volumes when the outgoing starting quarterback is saying that many positive things about Jeff Sims. You get to see, it's kind of a reunion a little bit. Like, not a lot of these media people are in the same room at like this very often. Right. So who are you looking forward to seeing?
Oh, there'll be some of the other throats in the league. Not a lot of them go, but there'll be a couple. But, like the Dennis Dodge at CBS Sports. I don't see Dennis very often, but he'll be there. Pete Thamel from ESPN is going to be there. Good to catch up with him again. So just some of those people that, and hopefully we can get a couple of them to come on. Joel Klatt's always fun to bump into and talk. So hopefully we can talk to some of those. Todd Blackledge, who was in Omaha last month for the College World Series, and I got to look that up. I think he must have a son on the team, but he was there for like 10 days in Omaha. I want to talk to him about his experience in Omaha going to the CWS.
And potentially some officiating. You're going to try to...
Bill Carolla is the head of officials. I want to get his thoughts about this new timing, because remember, they're not going to stop the clock after first downs until the end of the half. I want to get his thoughts about how they're going to handle that. I think that's kind of cool.
And you've also lined up Damon Benning.
Yep. Apparently. Now, you told me I need to give him a lot of leeway, a lot of head time before we...
Well, we like to give him a hard time. You know, you guys give me a hard time, we're going to give it back.
And you've given me an assignment to take to him.
So, yes, I think maybe if you give him we've talked about this on the show. He completely missed his slot one night. So I said give him like a 30-minute heads up. Like, say a time is 30 minutes before you're actually going to have him on. But then also we had a big knockdown drag out about Starburst recently, or back in December. So I gave you a second candy to try to see if we can all get on the same page. High Chews. So I bought you guys some, and you guys are going to see if we can all agree on High Chews.
Here was the text back from him. Absolutely looking forward to it. Just say when and where.
Okay.
That's confirmation, right?
And maybe tell him you got High Chews. So maybe he likes High Chews.
I'm going to spring that on him. I'll bring that into maybe the end of the conversation with DB. But yeah, should be fun, and I just cannot wait for the rest of the conference to listen to Matt Rule. I mean, we've had so much fun hearing him talk the last 6 months. I just think he's going to own the room. And my guess is, this is probably too early to say this, but he will do an opening statement.
Yes, I think so. And I think he might win media days just because we've got to hear him. And I mean, I told you this about my mom works at a high school in Texas, and her high school football coach taught her out and told her how great it was to listen to Matt Rule, how inspirational he was, and how he brought down the house at the Texas High School Football Coaches Association clinic last week. So I think he's going to impress some folks.
Everywhere he goes, he does.
And then you'll be back on Friday. So you'll be sending check-ins.
But
and
I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow night, too.
You'll be on the show, and then we'll have all kinds of fun interviews coming up, and then we'll be back together on Friday. It'll be our last Sports Nightly before practice is here.
Let's go.
That's Greg Sharpe with us here on Sports Nightly. He'll be checking in with us all throughout these next 3 days from Indianapolis. 402-413-2400, the number to call or text in if you want to be a part of the show. Our Sports Nightly hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Up next, Brad Hoiberg, head coach for Nebraska men's basketball here on Sports Nightly.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811. It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Nashville. Visit GoFlyLNK.com to book your trip today and fly like a Husker. Go Big Red!
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend, Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite Bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. I'm Jessica Coody, and Nebraska men's basketball headed to Spain this week, leaving Friday really early in the morning. And to get a little bit of a catch-up and a preview of that, the head coach, Fred Hoiberg, joining us in studio. It's been a while since you've been in studio.
Yeah, how you doing, Jessica? Great to see you.
Good. Are you ready for Spain? All packed up and ready?
No, not packed up. I'll probably start packing at about 11 on Thursday night, and then we'll leave our house at about 3 a.m. and then leave Hendricks Training Complex at 3:45 and have a long way, about a 5.5-hour layover in Charlotte. So not ideal from a travel standpoint, but it'll be great. Once we get over there, Spain's an awesome country. We're going to start out the trip in Madrid, where we'll spend 3 days, play our first game the second night when we're over there, and then we go to Valencia for 3 days and then finish up the trip in Barcelona, which is one of my favorite cities in the world.
I always like to ask, and I've asked a few of your players about this too, are they big food guys? Are you a big fan of the food over there?
You know what I love over there is the paella, and I've never been to Valencia, but from what I understand, it is the paella capital of the world.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'll get my fix of
you get that
paella
feel of that. See if you can get it back on the flight, maybe coming back.
Well, one of the choices was beef and rabbit. I ended up going with the seafood instead of the rabbit paella. So, yeah. But it's great. And then Barcelona, right on the coast, just an awesome city with great food, a lot of historical sites that we're going to go see. So it's going to be a great experience for our players. We're obviously going to be very shorthanded when we're over there. We've got 6 of our scholarship guys not playing, actually 7 now with Matar, and then we have an 8th scholarship still available. So we're going to be very shorthanded over there, but really it's all about the experience. It's about the chemistry that we'll be able to build. Rink Mast had 6 practices before he left for his national team over in Holland. So, the practices were great. We were able to put in our offensive and defensive systems. And even for Josiah, who has not practiced with us yet, Blaze, who's still out with his ankle surgery that he had, Jawan just got cleared. So he'll play a little bit. We're going to play him probably about 10 to 12 minutes a game when we're over there. He'll be able to shake off the rust from the injury in January that he had last year. So there's a lot of positives on this trip, even though we're not going to have a full roster. And a big part of that is the chemistry that we're going to be able to build on these 10 days in Europe.
For sure, getting some of those experiences that a lot of them haven't had a chance to experience. And then what about just the opportunities that provides for some of your other players to get out there and get some pretty important minutes? Yeah,
it gives a great opportunity. Ramel, who redshirted for us last year, did a lot of really intriguing things, playing on the scout team a year ago, being able to play multiple positions. He can really play make. I think that's his best strength, is making plays. Cale Jacobson's had a great summer, and the first 4 weeks in June, we really did mostly skill work, and then once July hit, we started utilizing the 10 practices that you get when you have a foreign trip. So those 2 guys specifically, I'm really looking forward to it. Jamarcus will play pretty much exclusively point guard on this trip, so that's going to give him a very valuable opportunity. Bryce Williams, we didn't get him until July 10th, so he's only been with us for a short amount of time, but I'm really intrigued by the things that he can do. He's a very versatile player on both ends of the floor. And then Jeff Grace and Henry Bird, as walk-ons, will have an opportunity to play just because of how short-handed we are. So it does. It's going to give guys that didn't have big roles an opportunity to go out there and show what they can do.
How have you liked the way that things have gone this summer for this team with guys in and out and the late additions? But it seems like it's a group that they're trying to do their part in getting that chemistry built off the court as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to last year's group as far as spending quality time with each other. They're hanging out a lot in the weekends. They went bowling last week on their own. Normally you put those team activities together for them, but they're doing that. Bryce Williams bowled at 235, which is pretty darn impressive.
That's incredible.
Incredible, right? And, so it's a group that I know one thing. It's going to be an enjoyable group to coach, and they work hard. The one thing I'm still trying to figure out is who's going to take over the leadership that we lost from Derek and Sam Griesel and Emmanuel Bandamel, 3 of our best leaders, 3 guys that really helped us with our culture last year. And, some guys have been great with their voice. I think Josiah is really going to help in that area, but it's been a little inconsistent. So we're still searching who's going to be the leader, who's going to help us navigate through tough times. I think we're going to be okay. It's going to be probably a little more by committee this year. I think last year everybody looked to Sam and Derek specifically when Emmanuel got hurt on who was going to help us through that adversity. So, that'll still be evolving, but again, we'll see a little bit of that on this trip to Spain.
We had Bryce on last week, and he talked about how he's recently picked up golf. And I was asking him about it. He said, I didn't realize how many golf balls you lose, how many golf balls you had to buy when you hit them in the bushes. But he seems like a fascinating guy. I think he's going to be a guy that a lot of Husker fans are going to be excited to root for.
Well, he's got everything you're looking for as a player as far as size. He's every bit of 6'7", and he can really shoot it. He's got great feet. Now, that's one thing, not that I was surprised by it, because he come from a great defensive coach in Ron Sanchez, who worked under Tony Bennett at Virginia. So he's got a great foundation on the defensive side of things, but I've just been impressed with his ability to move his feet and switch on to bigger players in front and that type of thing on the post. So he's got a really high skill level, and he's got a good IQ as well. So, only been with us a short amount of time, so he doesn't know all the nuances within the system that the other guys had the luxury those first 4 weeks, and some of the guys from last year. But we've really, really liked what we've seen out of Bryce so far.
You guys brought in several key guys that have played a lot of basketball. How do you guys go about that when you're going to the portal? And I know you had some success with it last year, but when you're trying to add some guys to some guys you already had on the roster, what's the process of figuring out who fits and what the needs are? I
think that the biggest thing is who are the players that fit what we're trying to build here. And I think last year, I said it in the preseason, it was going to be a very easy team to root for because of the makeup of the group, how hard they competed every time they stepped on the floor. And even without Casey, who is one of our leaders in that area, and now that the gym's gotten a little quieter since Rink went back to his national team, but you got 2 guys right there that I know will go out and compete on every possession Jamarcus, Sam, CJ, the guys coming back, Blaze, when he gets healthy. Josiah, that's been what has made him the type of player that he's been since he got into college 4 years ago, is he just has an unbelievable motor, and that's infectious for the guys. So, now to add Ramel and Kale and those kind of guys that didn't play a year ago, but we've got a foundation in place now. We wanted to bring the right guys in that fit the culture that we built last year. And again, with some, tough injuries to our team, we were able to withstand that because there was a genuine care factor, and those guys that didn't have a big role early in the season really took off and honestly played our best basketball at the end of the year. But you have that when the guys genuinely like each other, and there's one common goal and there's no agendas, and that's what that team last year had, and I think that's what this upcoming year will be as well.
With Keisei, he's had a lot of opportunities to play for Team Japan, and now with Rink, how big is that opportunity for these guys to have that chance to go play for their home countries? Well,
it's a great opportunity for them, and Rink, again, he joined his team a little bit later. Keisei, he's been going at it really since, the beginning of June is when he started, and then I think the 15th is when they officially started practices. He's played a couple friendly games where I think he had 8 threes, made 8 out of 12 threes in his first 2 games. And the great thing about Keisei, he's able to represent his home country playing in the World Cup in Okinawa, Japan. Really cool experience. He played in front of his parents over there and everything while representing his home country. So that's really cool for him. Rink goes to Poland this weekend. I talked to him a couple days ago, and they played 2 friendly games up there getting ready for their World Cup, which they will play here in a couple weeks. So, excited to get those guys back. But just a tremendous opportunity, not only for now, but for their long-term futures.
Well, a couple of big news that came out recently since we've had you on, and one of those being the schedule release of the non-conference. 10 of 12 at home. I know you've got to be really excited to play 10 games in PBA there to start the season. Yeah, it is a great opportunity, and the road games will be tough at Kansas State in Bramlage Fieldhouse. I have a lot of history down there playing in the old Big 8 conference and then coaching in the Big 12 for 5 seasons. Great arena, great venue, coming off an Elite 8 season. They had a phenomenal year, and excited for that opportunity. And then playing in the Pentagon, which I know Nebraska played in several years ago and should have a great following up there. And, to play the rest of the non-conference schedule at home, including a game against Creighton, which will be another top 10 team and coming off an Elite 8 season as well, and some really good high-quality mid-major opponents as well. So good opportunity to prepare for the grind of the 20-game Big Ten schedule, and I think it's a very good schedule for this team. How do you and your staff go about putting together a schedule, especially this year's schedule? You had such a tough grind last year, and kind of balancing getting those opponents and those challenges in to prepare you for the Big Ten, but also maybe building some chemistry and working out some kinks early in the season as well. Yeah, a lot goes into it when you do put your schedules together. We did have one of the more difficult schedules in the country last year, starting with that 3-game trip for the Thanksgiving tournament down in Disney. And to not have Derek in 2 of those 3 games was tough. And I think, we would have had a really good chance because of the pressure that we faced. And Derek really was our pressure release a year ago. So, we knew we'd have a lot of new faces. We knew we were losing Derek, Sam, Emmanuel. We wanted to get a lot of home games. And it's going to be important for us to get off to a great start next year, hopefully build some momentum heading into the Big Ten play. All right, and just recently, another addition to the roster as well, and Matar Diop. Did I say that right? I think so. Okay. Well, tell us about him and what the expectations are for him and why he was a good addition for you guys. Yeah, Matar, I give Ernie Ziegler a lot of credit. He saw him down at the NBA Academy event in Atlanta in the first live period in July. And he called me after the first game and just said, I think there's a kid down here that's really intriguing. Got every rebound, blocked shots, ran, hit open threes. And then the next day he called me back and said, we really got to think about offering this kid. And then I watched a game on film, and then he watched one more. He said, this kid's a no-brainer. So we ended up offering him, and he got some other high majors at that time. And we were very fortunate to get Matar on campus before the dead period started and before we took this trip to Spain when the period opens up again where you can bring kids to your campus. So, to get a high-quality big, he's almost 6'10" is what he's measured with a 7'3" wingspan.
We don't have that in our roster. We don't have that type of rim protection. So it just gives us a completely different element and a kid that's going to play with an incredible motor. So, yeah, great addition, especially this late in the game, to get some much-needed front court depth.
You mentioned Ernie Ziegler, and now that you have a year with, especially your assistants together, you got to like and love working with those guys and how they've been able to settle in now, and you guys really seem to have a good rhythm going a year into this thing now.
Yeah, it's a staff that has a great chemistry in working together, and clearly defined roles on everybody and what they can bring to the program. And Nate Lenzer did a phenomenal job with our defense a year ago, especially when Emmanuel and Jawan were healthy, and what we were able to accomplish being a team that was 30th in the nation in defensive efficiency rating, an area that we had really struggled in the previous few years. Adam Howard is phenomenal as far as getting out and recruiting and getting in front of some really high-level kids, and really helped us with our zone when we had to kind of shift our defensive mentality and identity a year ago when those two guys got injured, and we had to add a couple different zones to try to keep teams off balance. And then the additions of some really good guys that were in the program that we elevated and promoted, with Michael Banya into the video position. Matt Holt, I got a great opportunity to go be an assistant coach at Georgia Tech, and then Peyton Borders, who's just as a relentless worker, we helped put into a recruiting coordinator position. And then Emmanuel Tommy in our player development going into his second year as well. So I'm excited. One guy I didn't mention, Eli Rice. He was absolutely phenomenal in our practice yesterday. Today was an off day for our team, but another really interesting player because of his size, his athleticism, and his ability to shoot it. He's 6'8", great athlete, still learning as all freshmen go through that learning curve, but the kid has a tremendous future in front of him.
We just had NBA Summer League, and Kurt Joseph, too, has been a big part of your staff, too. And now you're seeing those NBA guys want to come back and work with him, and they just talk about how he gets me right. How big is that, too, when you can have those guys go into the NBA and then still want to come back and work out here as well?
Well, I think it shows to, what we're building here, not only with Kurt, but they want to come back and work out either with Nate or come back in and shoot a little bit with myself or our Coach Howard. It just, I think, shows the quality in the work that our guys put in. And, what Kurt Joseph has done in the weight room is incredible, especially what he did with Bryce McGowan's put on 15 pounds of lean muscle mass in about 8 months when we had him, which is incredibly difficult to do. So, those guys coming back, and, even Monte Morris, who played for me at Iowa State, he wants to come back and work on his shot. So, to continue to get these guys coming into your gym, I think shows the players that are eligible right now and on your current roster, if you put in the work, you're going to have opportunities. And, to get guys like that back in your gym is really cool.
And just last night, a really cool thing for your team is the NABC Team Academic Excellence Award. It was out on Husker Hoops Twitter, social media, and 11 players with GPAs of 3.0 or better. I know you guys set a record as well, and your team cumulative GPA. That's going to mean a lot to you as a head coach, that your guys are taking care of business in the classroom. Yeah,
again, I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier as far as a team that's easy to root for, because they're all about the right things. And, not only that, but just how much they get out in the community. And, we had a camp, the Special Olympics camp last week, which was a huge hit. And, to see our players interact, and the women's team was in there as well. It's awesome to see. But, listen, it's important. And we were top 4 in all of the Husker athletic teams in GPA this past year and set an all-time record. And you take pride in that. I know it, it may not mean a lot to other people, but, when you have a group that has their priorities set, and, that ball's going to stop bouncing at some point. So to be able to have the graduation paper when you walk out of here is so important. I come from a family of educators. My dad was a professor. My mom was an elementary school teacher. Dennis LeBlanc, I give him all the credit in the world. He's been here for 40 years as the head academic counselor, and he just does such a great job of holding our players accountable and making sure they get in there on a daily basis and get their work done. And we say this all the time, you have the resources here at Nebraska. If you put the work in, you are going to graduate, and that's so important. So I'm really proud of our guys for taking care of business in the classroom.
Very cool. All right, last thing I got for you. Just you're going to Spain. When you come back, what are the biggest goals that you hope to get accomplished with this basketball team?
Well, I hope to rest for a couple days. It's been a grind. The portals start so early now. Usually after the season, you can exhale and recharge a little bit. Now you're full go, and it's really turned into our busiest time of year. Just getting all the kids on campus and everything. So all guys will go home. They'll get a good chance to unwind, and they will be back. They start the fall semester on August 21st. And we'll give them a little bit of time. The one thing you always worry about with a foreign trip is burning them out. So we'll give them a good 10 days to 2 weeks before we start with individual skill work again. I know a lot of them will come in and get shots on their own. It's just how they're wired. But it's important to really get that rest, take care of their bodies before we take off again in the fall. And then we start September 27th with our fall camp, and then get back on the court in November, which is going to be here before we know it.
It will be. We can't wait. I really like this group you put together. You've had them in studio. They've been fantastic to talk to. So I think it's going to be another team that Husker fans are going to be excited to root for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, have fun in Spain, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys when you guys get back.
All right. Thanks, Jessica.
And that is Fred Hoiberg here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back with more coming up right after this.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in scarlet and cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at astriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Knottle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Knottle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit knottlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Sorry about that. I had my computer up listening to interviews and I didn't realize I thought there was an ad playing. But anyways, welcome back. Great chatting with Coach Hoiberg there. Can't wait to see how this team comes together. We won't know a whole lot given that there aren't a lot of scholarship players that are available. There's going to be a lot of guys that won't be available for him in Spain. But it's all about kind of building the chemistry, especially when you have so many new players coming in and mixing with some players that are already here and building that chemistry and leadership, right? I mean, we lost two heck of leaders in three with Emmanuel Bandamel, Sam Griesel, and Derek Walker. So excited to see that team. I've really enjoyed chatting with all of them, all the newcomers, and they got some good pieces coming back. So I'm excited about the group. I know we've talked about that a lot here on Sports Nightly, but I think they've got some really great pieces. And then with Keisei Tominaga coming back, some of those key returners that are coming back too, I think there's some reason to be excited. I think they've set themselves up schedule-wise to have a pretty good non-conference, have some chance to build some momentum and get some wins in the non-conference before heading into the daunting Big Ten schedule. So I can't wait. I think people here that have listened to the show know that I'm a big fan of basketball and basketball season. So I'm excited about both these basketball teams this season. Art in Los Angeles on our text line. Speaking of playing horse, so in the last segment of hour number one, I had mentioned that the men's basketball team put out a video of who would win, who could beat Coach Hoiberg, or who would lose to Coach Hoiberg in horse, and all of them answered that. So I was asking Cole about that and what he thought. So Art in Los Angeles weighed in on that. Jessica, speaking of playing horse, who would win between everyone there at Sports Nightly? Here is who I think would win. Jessica is the winner. There's no doubt about that. Cole is second, David third, Camden fourth, everyone else fifth, and Greg is last. Love you, Greg. I just don't see him as being much of an athlete. GBR. Well, I mean, listen, I definitely agree. I think that was one of the best texts we've ever gotten from Art in Los Angeles, because there's no doubt about it, I would be the winner of horse in this deal. Cole, I mean, you got any thoughts on all that? You good with being second?
I'm all right with being second. I will say we left some names out, and I think Jake, who's standing right next to me, could put up a fight. He pays attention to a lot of basketball, so he knows the set pieces.
So you maybe would move Jake up the list. Where's Henry going?
Henry can go around with David, I think. They're roommates, right? And so they probably are of a similar skill.
Battle it out. The other big topic of conversation is started after Coach Hoiberg said that he was not going to eat rabbit. Have you eaten rabbit before?
I have not. No.
Would you eat rabbit?
What he didn't describe what it even tasted like. I don't know
think
what
it
it
was
would.
beef and rabbit is what he said.
But what would rabbit? I don't know. It's a little weird.
You
for
would
me.
would you consider trying it?
I'd consider it. Maybe.
Okay, and then, I mean, it's kind of gotten a little disgusting on what they've talked about, but oysters was another thing. I have eaten oysters. So I don't eat red meat. That's what they were asking me what I would eat. I don't eat red meat, but I would try pretty much any seafood. So, yeah, that's good. They've got some crazy suggestions going on in here. But I did want to tie that in because speaking of the chat, how about Crypto King? We mentioned him a lot because he throws out questions. He's here. He kind of helps moderate the chat a little bit. He has taken charge of the picks when we do our college football picks in the fall. He monitors all of that. This today is his 500th show that he's been tuning into Sports Nightly. How about that? Cole, I know he's a big fan of yours, but you're a big fan of crypto, right?
I am a big fan of crypto.
He sponsored you in the race that you did not run.
We didn't run it not due to anything we decided. It was natural weather events that deterred it.
Yeah, you tried. You showed up. You're ready to run. You did push-ups instead. But appreciate all those guys in the chat. They are there every night, and they're fun. They add a lot. Are you ready for picks, though, college football picks? You didn't do it last year, so this is your first year. Are you ready for that?
I didn't. We didn't. I guess we just didn't let student workers do picks last year. I'm not sure what the ruling was, but I'm ready, and I hope we can get the rest of our student workers in on it, too, this year. We'll
Do you
see.
know who the two-time defending champ is?
I can guess, and it probably is you.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's your girl over here. But yeah, no, the more the merrier that play. And we have the chat plays along, and I'm thinking we need to find a way to get a prize to the winner for that because they play along each week. It's a lot of fun. That will be here before you know it. And practice coming up this week, but we got lots of football to talk about. And starting tomorrow, Big Ten Media Days talking season. So again, we'll have Greg checking in from there. Got to get to our last break. We're back to wrap up Sports Nightly coming up right after this. More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Discover new ways to purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Nissan. Right now, lease the 2023 Nissan Ariya Engage 4-wheel drive for $389 a month for 36 months. Visit us online today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 down plus first payment, $299 doc fee due at signing. Discount based on sale price of $44,735. Deal includes $1,000 Ariya Engage 4-wheel drive bonus Nissan cash rebate and $1,000 Ariya loyalty bonus cash rebate. VIN number PM407668. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Angler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Angler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
To Hogemeyer, local means something greater. Raised local, raised right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. We had a couple of texts come in. Tim in Minnesota said no to the oysters. What did you say, Cole? No or yes to oysters?
Indifferent on oysters. I've had them. I think they have to be good. They have to be in good I don't know if it's cooked well or from a good sea, but I've had good and bad.
A good C? Is that what you just said? A good C? Okay. Jake, what about you? Oysters, rabbit, yay, nay? Can he talk in the mic back there, Cole?
Yep.
Okay.
I've never had either. I would definitely be interested in trying it. Want to get in there with Fred Hoiberg and try some out.
Well, he's not doing rabbit. He went with something else, but I could not do rabbit. No way on that, but I'm okay on oysters. I'm not picky on that, but all right. So, and then Jim in Columbus asked about the basketball team and where they rank in the Big Ten, which we can get into this discussion when Greg gets back. But Purdue's going to be up there, Ohio State, Wisconsin. But I think it's going to be all the key is going to be about how this team comes together and with all those pieces. But I think there are some good pieces, and so we'll see. I think they certainly have a chance with what they've put together with the transfer portal and the guys coming back, and then with the schedule, that they certainly have a good shot of getting into the postseason. Which postseason, we'll see, but it's always kind of a little early to tell. We'll see how it unfolds a little bit to start at the season, but you can have your picks, and then you never know how it unfolds, who got what transfer portal guy, how they come together. So, but I do like the group. I like the group a lot. I'm excited to see what kind of season that is ahead for Husker men's basketball and Husker women's basketball. I'm really, really excited about that group. They're also going overseas. Great opportunity there for them too. And we always hear about how this time, we heard Coach Cook talking about it, we've heard the soccer team talking about it. It's a great time to build chemistry. So with the kind of group that especially men's basketball has, it's a great opportunity to do that. And that's what Coach Hoiberg said is one of the big goals of his. The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. With 16 convenient with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Appreciate those texts rolling in on the text line. Would you try potato salad? Try no potato salad. Yeah, I would probably try that for sure. And Andy in Phoenix, where is Jeremiah? Jeremiah, I have talked him into joining me here in a couple weeks. Greg's going to be out a couple weeks in August. Hopefully I was okay to say that, but I have lined up Jeremiah to come in and help us out. So Searles will be in studio soon for Sports Nightly, but also we're going to start taping our sideline slices really soon as well. So it's here. It is here. I mean, we've got talking season for the next 3 days, and then it is going to be fall camp time, so can't wait for that. All right, thanks for everybody for tuning in here on this edition of Sports Nightly. We've got Big Ten media coverage coming up tomorrow night. Thanks to Cole, Jake, David. I'm Jessica. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas.